So I'm going to record. Thank you for everybody jumping on. I don't know how many people are on because Zoom is being testy and I can't see the chat box or anything like that. So yeah. But Rochelle and I were talking, we just kind of wanted to jump on and talk about like priorities, mindset, like showing up for things, like your DMO, that kind of thing. I just think like one thing I've noticed, and it's just, I'm just going to be honest, like I've been posting in the chat and like, guys, I can see that you read my messages, like just respond. Or if you don't want to respond, like set in the group, like just send me a message. But like showing up for Zooms is super important to talk because we all get to connect and talk about what's working, what's not working, etc. So like when I say like, hey, can you guys jump on a Zoom, and like all 38 people that are in the chat don't answer, it's just a little frustrating. Or if I like send you a message and I check in with you because I genuinely want to know about your business and then I don't get a response, I kind of get a little butthurt. Not because I care. Like if you're hiding because you're afraid that your business isn't going the way it's going and you're afraid that I'm like gonna mother you, no, that's not what it is. Like I get everyone has lives. You're not psychopathic like me and want to sell ketones all day every day, or you're not at that level. But like, let's talk about like where your business is currently at and what I can help improve. Because we have like, Rochelle and I learned a lot at Keto Academy and more that like we want to implement with these like power hours and things like that. Like I'm not checking again to like snoop on you or like harp on you because you're not showing up or you're not doing things. I just genuinely love you where you're at. But like, if you want to have goals and like if you have financial goals or like you want to start helping people or you want to get more consistent or you've fallen off and want to kickstart again, like let us help you so that like, let's just have a conversation so that we can talk about that. So that was just like the one thing that was on my mind. I'm going to toss it to Rochelle to see what she wants to talk about.
Well, and I think that the one thing that's important to note is everybody who's here on this Zoom, like that message was not specifically intended for most everybody, as far as I know.
No, it was just a general thing.
Yeah, so because y'all are here, but for everybody who is watching this on the replay, like take that to heart, please, because it's really important for us that, I mean, at least for me, it's important that like we connect as a team. You know, I love the power hours that we're doing because it gives us that like opportunity to help and to become more close on a friend level, you know, like, so we're not just, I don't know, team members who don't know each other.
It's just something that like it's been coming up with like my clients with like coaching, like priorities and conflicts, and like I get we're busy and I get that like life happens and like, yeah, me and Rochelle are doing this full time, but like that doesn't necessarily, we don't want to disempower you. We want to empower you. And that's why we're doing the power hours. And like for those that have been around the block for a while, like I'm sorry that I was not a good enough leader to give you guys specific directive. Like I love that Rochelle steps up and does that because I didn't really realize that that's what you guys needed. So now we can be stronger together as like a team because we have the systems in place and specific directive. Like I know I'm like, I kind of was like, go get them. And Rochelle now gives you directive on like what you specifically should do to go get them. It's just a matter of like showing up and carving out the time. So like, if y'all are watching Netflix and scrolling on Facebook, but then come to me and say that like your business is flat, well, priorities, that's a conflict. So again, not coming down on you, is just trying to bring an awareness to like, we do these Zooms in the beginning of the month and ask about your DMOs. And then by the end of the month, everyone's like, oh, I need more accountability. Well, now we have this stuff in place to get you forward. So it's just that. And like, I don't want anyone to feel like, again, you have to be like super engaged or like, I know that Michelle, you cut hair and like Julie works full time and like Barbara's going on as some sort of mission somewhere. But like, so it's not like you have to be all day, every day. And I'm not mad or anything at all. I just want to help you where you're at and you because I don't want you to ever feel like, oh, well, my upline doesn't do anything. So let us help you. That's all I got. I just wanted to get that off my little burnt heart right now.
Does anybody have a self-limiting belief that they want to like that you know hold you back. Like unmute yourself if you want to talk about that and work through it. Because I know that we all do.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, Barbara. I can't see. I have no like, yeah.
Hi, can you see me now?
Yeah, you're good. I just don't have any toolbars or anything. It's just Zoom and I can't end it. So we're just going to go with what we have. So go ahead, babe. What's happening?
I think my big holdback is because I'm at where I'm at, such a high weight in that, and I've lost 30 pounds, and people are noticing it, but still for me to put me out there and say, hey, this is great stuff and blah, blah, blah. I hold back because I don't think that, people are going to look and say, well, yeah, okay, whatever, and it hasn't done you any good or what, I don't know. You get what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So when I first started this whole thing, I actually said to I bring this up a lot, but we're saying it again. So I said to the top earner, Michael Rutherford of our company, and he talks on like huddle calls and things like that. I was like, I don't understand why this is network marketing. I don't want to be a network marketer. Like, basically, why can't we just be affiliates or direct marketing? Well, he point blank was like, do you like the product? Yes or no? And that's what I'm going to ask you. Like, do you like the product? Yes or no?
Oh, I love the product. I use it all day.
So that's it.
I use all of it. I mean, I use the MCT, I use the cream, I use the Keto Max, I use the bone broth. I mean,
yeah,
it really, up to 2 weeks ago, I hadn't exercised in over 10 years. And
that's a perfect story. You might not have the end goal of like where you're at. Like I'm like literally, guys, like my hips hurt right now. I'm like hurting. Like, yeah, ketones do help me and gave me my life back, but like I'm not 100%. Like I'm still I'm on a journey. Your journey is never going to be ended. So like that's a huge milestone for you. You should talk about that. Oh my God. Before Prove It, I could never exercise. Mm-hmm. Now that I found Prove It, I'm really excited that I exercised. And now I'm looking forward to losing all the weight because now I can exercise. Does that help you?
It does. And actually this morning I did put a video out right after I ran 4 miles and while I was still on the treadmill, sweating and looking really
oh yeah.
and that and I got, good job, congratulations, and I said, PM me, inbox me if you're interested in learning, and I've got nothing.
So Rochelle, do you want to give her directive on like how she could handle those comments?
Yeah, sorry, I was running bathwater. What was the comment specifically?
Most of them were just congratulations, good job, keep up the good work.
So I would message them and I would like say, hey, thank you so much for the love and support that you always give me. I really appreciate that encouragement. And then ask them, are you familiar with ketones? Like, I'd love to share this with you. And that's it. And take it from there. But like anybody who comments on or likes your curiosity post, you should be sending them a message saying, hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate all of your love and support. Like, it's because of people like you that I continue to share.
Okay.
Does that help?
It does. It does. I still, being self-conscious, it's hard to overcome that.
Yeah. So
you have 54 years of being self-conscious from being overweight and that.
But what do you want instead?
What do I want? I want to be
instead of self-conscious, what do you want to be?
Confident.
How does that feel?
I think, these past couple of weeks, I have felt a little that I'm starting to get some confidence, and that and it feels great.
Could you lean into that a little bit more before you go into like maybe messages and stuff like that? Like, could you write down like, I am confident and I am amazing, and like kind of tell, like write it down and tell yourself that, even if you don't believe it exactly?
Yeah.
Cool. So my challenge for you would be to like, before you do a post or like before you wake, like, well, obviously you have to wake up first, but like in the beginning of the day, like write in your, like, I don't know if you have a journal or whatever, but I coach like my coaching people this, like do 5 things that you're grateful for and 5 affirmations. Like, even if you don't believe it, like right now I'm flared, like my body works perfectly. Everything's great. I'm going to talk to 10 people today. Like those types of things to set your intention for the entire day. Because if you do that first, before you do anything, that sets your vibe for the entire day. Does that help?
Yeah, it does.
Perfect. Would you check in with me tomorrow morning?
Excuse me?
Would you check in with me tomorrow morning?
I will.
Perfect.
Well, and so that you know, like, you're not alone in that feeling. Like, I get that too. And I was just like, so yesterday I went to this rally thing and I was late. And it wasn't what I was like expecting it to be. And by the time that like I got around to talking like where I could speak, and I was messaging Mandy all day telling her like, I don't know what to say in front of these people. And it was because like they were all hammered. And how am I going to talk to people who are wasted about ketones? Like, I didn't feel comfortable. And it just didn't feel like the time and place. And I didn't even know what to say. So I went in with this like grandiose expectation, and I did a live about it last night actually, on my way home, because it took me an hour and a half to get there, 2 hours to get there, and an hour and a half to get back home. But coming out of it, what I realized is that the 5 connections that I made were so worth that 3-hour trip. Like, those 5 connections are way more valuable to me than the grandiose expectation that I went in with. So take your expectation out of it. Like, had I not taken it out of it, I would have been super grateful and excited for those 5, and like automatically, instead of feeling deflated. So if you don't go into it with how you want it to end up with, or with your expectation, other than you're just sharing it because you love the way it makes you feel, and that's why you're excited. You're not excited for the sale. You're excited to share how good you feel. Mm-hmm. Then you're going to have a good outcome, no matter what.
Yeah. Cool. I love that. Does that help a little bit?
It does. It does. I know, you know it in the back of your mind, but to get it out, and I'm doing my first poster presentation at Wash U on the October 17th for Research Day, and it's like I'm trying to not be nervous. I'm trying to get confidence.
Well, if you do every day those journal stuff, you're going to be a different person. And Tiffany dropped a YouTube video. I'm not sure what it is. But definitely check that out. She always has some good stuff. Tiffany, you want to just drop that in the Keto Crushers group too, so everyone can have access to it? Cool. Well, check in with me tomorrow. So who's next? Who has some like more limiting beliefs that they want to like cover? And I'm sorry I'm lying down, but my like body is done for today. Don't be shy. Feel free to unmute. Let's help and talk about it, because I think that this will help you break through a little bit too. Don't everybody go at once.
Okay, I'll go. So, Manny knows a little bit about what my limiting is, and it has always been the confidence, and it's been the, it's loud in here, guys, sorry. But confidence and not knowing what to say. So, for me lately, as a matter of fact, just recently, Mandy messaged me, okay, so what's stopping you from making a checklist? Because organization is really big for me. Like, I have 3 kids, I work a full-time job, and I'm probably the most disorganized person in the world. So I had wrote out a checklist of what I could do that morning before everything else blew up. Like, because once my kids get on the bus, I have a few hours before everything else blows up. And so I wrote out that checklist, and she's like, okay, message me every time you do this. Every time you do one of these, send me a message. And I'll tell you what, like, just doing that for, like, I think it was maybe 2 hours that I did this. And it was simple things like listening to a podcast from Boss Lee, listening to my daily affirmations, that kind of things. And then just messaging my customers like, hey, just checking in on you. How did your last reboot go? How are you enjoying your ketones? Well, my one customer, she's like, oh my gosh, I think she said she's lost like 13 pounds. And she just started like last month. And she's like, I feel amazing. And she's done everything else. She struggled with her weight so long. And she was like, I said, well, the reboot's on sale, today's the last day. She's like, oh, then I got to get on there and order it. And she did. I told her, about the buy two, get one free. And cause she had just recently told me, like, I need to order more ketones. And I went in and I'm like, oh, hey, that's awesome. I said, but make sure you put it on SmartShip. If you're going to keep doing it, you want to get that discount. And she was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. So just that one day, even though it was one customer, it was impactful, and I impacted her life, and she appreciated me reaching out and saying, thank you for checking in on me. I appreciate that. So I'm not the most organized person, but by doing that checklist and writing it down and having a notebook that says Tiffany's DMO, it keeps me accountable. And so on the days that I work, it's harder for me, but on my days off, I have 3 days off during the week. On those days off, that's something I can do to keep myself accountable.
I love it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, who else has a limiting belief or a share or something? I know some of y'all are like probably similar, so this stuff all applies, but who's got one? I mean, I don't really want to share mine, but I will if I need to. Okay, who else is on here? Let's go.
Can you mute Tiffany out on your end?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you.
It's dangerous. It's a gamble.
Okay. Who's going? Well, Julie's gone. No one has any limiting beliefs. That means we're all going to hit rank legend and like y'all are doing your DMOs every day and there's no excuse.
Am I on?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to come across to people as being like pushy
Yeah.
or pester them. So I've had like people message me and ask me what was in my box, and so I give them a little tidbit on it, and then I get pumped like, okay, they're gonna buy the 5 or the 10 day, or they're expressing interest.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of them have even said, will you help me? And I'm like, absolutely. And then I give them information, and then I don't hear anything back from them. So then I sent them the information on the BOGO, thinking, okay, this will help, and nothing back. So I don't know.
So,
like, I know what I can, I know how to sell retail at my salon, but I don't know how far to push. Does that make sense?
So my question for you is, are you connecting that person in a 3-way chat with Rochelle?
I tried this morning. And I don't think she went offline, and I kind of would check in every now and then. And I don't think she came back online because you tried to connect with her, and
Yeah, she didn't see the chat. So what I want you to do is instead of getting them on a chat with me, I want you to say, here, let's jump on a call really quickly with my friend Rochelle.
okay,
So get them on the phone, even if it's like just a phone call. It doesn't have to be a Zoom, but like three-way us in.
okay,
And then that way we can have that conversation right there, because most of the people who you're talking to, or some of them, may not be literate, you know?
right, yeah,
And they may not see that chat box come up because it has me in it and I'm not friends with them. So
right,
I'm
right,
your connections. Let's start doing phone calls, okay?
okay, okay,
Get on the phone for an hour with 5 different people,
okay,
10-minute conversations. Let's do that, because that will work.
okay, that sounds good.
Any kind of third-party validation, or where you're not selling,
Okay,
really selling. Like, you just have to talk about what you feel like. And all of that information has to come from me. And
that's
I'm telling you this.
it's hard for me because I'm a seller, so it's hard for me to not take charge of that part because I talk about product.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So instead of saying it's hard for me because I am this, can you reframe that to, in the past, this was hard for me, but now I am going to ...
Yes.
with Rochelle.
Yes, I can say
let's-
that.
Yeah, so it's going to bust through that limiting belief. And Barbara, I saw you raise your hand. I'm going to get to you in a second. But like the third party validation, like veterans on here, newbies on here, like if you're not three-way connecting with myself or Rochelle or whoever or the group with some sort of other piece of information and you're vomiting all over them,
Yes.
they're not going to get it. And the reason why the sales process, the typical one, because I was the same way as you, I could sell ice to an Eskimo.
Yeah.
Throwing up what beta hydroxybutyrate was and how amazing it is and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Like I was throwing up all over them. Like I didn't understand why.
Right.
And once I stopped leading with all of the info and started asking more questions so I could solve the problem with a story,
Okay.
that's going to be a game changer. Like and then the other reason why is you're going to show them how easy it is. Like Rochelle will probably show an Inspire On video or my video or connect them with a before and after picture. Like our job as like the front in line is to connect and then let the other stuff do the selling for you. So you're not pushy.
Okay.
You should be pushy when it comes to following up. And you can even say, hey, if you're not really interested, it's totally cool, but I'm going to cross you off my list. Will you let me know?
Okay.
Because then no one likes to be crossed off a list.
Right.
And it pigeonholes them into giving you a response.
Okay.
That's why I say all the time, like, all of my Facebook posts always have a question. All of my follow-ups always have a question. Because when someone's forced to respond to a question, like, versus like, hey, let me know, you're going to respond to that question because you're probably like the psychology behind feeling guilty of leaving a conversation open-ended. For most people, they'll want to continue the convo. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, it does. So I will definitely work on that, but I may need help.
You're not going to change overnight. That's okay. We're going to help you. And
All right.
And if Rochelle's not available, like you're always welcome to connect with us. We're a team. So,
Okay.
And I'm around and phone calls are fine. I don't know if you have my phone number or not, but we'll get it to you.
Okay.
Everybody wrote it down. Here, I'll type it in the chat box. But I'm pretty sure y'all have it. Is that helpful? Does that make you feel a little bit better about your limiting belief?
Yes. Yeah, it does.
Okay, good. Love you. You're awesome.
Love you too.
Barbara, I'm trying to unmute you and I can't. So does that help a little bit?
Yeah, how do I know who I'm supposed to call?
You can call me.
Okay.
I'm pretty much managing all. I don't know where Dan is sometimes. So, but you can, cause he works, you know, and I'm always available. And if I'm not available, I will be in a couple minutes. And I put my phone number in the chat box. So you can always connect, but that's one thing that I was trying to get you talking to you the other day. Like, hey, like, let's get you connecting more. Don't send those invites out from the back office. Those don't really matter. Like the watch connected role, like asking questions and sending that campfire video that I shared with you, that's going to be the tool for you. But again, and then what you had said earlier, you said, well, let me know if you're interested. Like send them a message like Rochelle said, hey, thanks so much for your love and support. What do you know about ketones and ketosis? Because then they're going to be like, oh, I don't know. And then you're going to send them your campfire video.
Okay.
And then loop me in, and then that's the process. Does that make more sense?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Awesome.
Sorry. Who?
Go ahead.
So what about people saying keto is bogus? I know that's come up.
Oh, is this like a question you were asking on my lives?
No.
I'll quickly answer that. Okay, so keto's been around. You want me to answer this question, or this is a limiting belief that you have, or I can do both, whatever.
Limiting belief.
Okay, so keto's actually been around since the 1920s. There's studies dating back to that. Whatever opposition that you're getting, again, make sure you do a 3-way connect, especially then introduce, hey, Susie, I know that you think keto is bogus, but I just want to introduce you to my certified keto coach, Mandy. She has so much information that she can share with you. And then we can talk, because then you can see. But for your own knowledge, keto has been around since the 1920s. It was actually implemented with children with seizure disorders that weren't responding to medications for their epilepsy. So there's definitely information and studies and things like that. And then you think back into nature. Anytime nothing makes sense, sometimes I'm always think back into nature. Like, what did they eat?
Yeah.
They didn't really eat bread and pasta and pizza and rice and all of that. All they did was meat and veggies seasonally. And even seasonally, veggies weren't available. Like you couldn't get strawberries 365. So just think back to that. Does that help?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What else? Should that be like a content covered like in the group? Should I like make a video?
I think so. Yeah, probably.
I also think like, and as you guys are communicating with whomever or whatever, again, 3-way chat, but I actually instruct people who like go to their doctors not really to say keto, but like talk about low carb. And the reason why is because doctors who aren't educated, especially like cardiologists, and I'm not giving you medical advice, but I am saying how to I have a PR degree, so strategically use your words. If you're saying, hey, I'm doing, primarily low carb, I stick to meat, veggies, healthy fats, that's going to be more welcomed versus, oh, I'm doing the ketogenic diet, and then red flags go up. Do you see that shift?
Yeah. Can you also do a content video on how ketones were developed? Because like I actually don't know, except that they were from a Navy SEAL, which we probably have something from Ryan Lowry. I just haven't taken the time to figure.
Yeah, for sure. So Dominic D'Agostino is a ketone researcher, inventor, who's partners with Angela Poff, who speaks at Keto Academy. The Department of Defense actually hired Dr. Dom, who had already previously studied ketogenic diets in implementation. The Department of Defense needed somehow to get Navy SEALs to stop having environmental seizures when they came up from deep dives, but obviously, or people in the field who were having health issues, like how could they still have sustainable energy and prevent seizures? They obviously can't do the ketogenic diet while out in the field, but how could they mimic that? So they wanted to invent So he invented ketones for them. Pruvit came in and licensed the patents from Dr. Dom and brought them to the marketplace outside of Department of Defense.
So do they still use them?
I would assume.
That's really cool.
But yeah, that's the short story, to my understanding. But yeah, like Department of Defense, like NASA, like Dr. Dom just went on like a deep dive mission in NASA. Like, so I guess when you dive in, like, I don't know, deep food water, it mimics the space. I don't know. But yeah, I can do a video on that for sure.
What's it called? The bends. When you come out too fast, you get the bends. You ready to get out? Okay.
But yeah, so does anyone else, and like those are limiting beliefs, it might not be personal, but like could be oppositions. Sure, Barbara, go ahead, I unmuted you.
So you're gonna regret having me on these things.
It's fine, I'm happy to, because I like to connect, and like I think that these are important things that need to be talked about, and people can catch on the replay too. So
so I have like 4 people on ketones right now.
okay.
And their biggest gripe is the amount of carbs in them. I always get, well, I am having all my carbs in these drinks. You know?
That's actually okay. So the carbs it's only 1.5 grams. The sugar alcohol doesn't count, so it cancels it out. And connect me with them, and connect me with them, and connect me with them. And then it says right on the actual package 1.5 carb or grams of carbs.
Right.
So
And that, but it's like, the big question is why. And I think I read up somewhere, or no, you told me that because it doesn't affect your insulin or glucose, that's why.
yeah, so net carbs versus total carbs. But like if they're eating, like this is where it could be like connect part, like, hey, this is and then you can do it casually, like you don't have to like make it a big thing, connect me with those customers. Hey, this is my keto coach Mandy, just wanted to introduce you guys just in case you had any questions that I might not be able to answer. And then I'll just say, hey, what's up? And then I'll ask them, hey, do you have any questions about ketones, ketosis, the diet, whatever? And then so then you're showing that then they have support. So even if you guys are connecting with the group, Rochelle sometimes still connects me with people just to make an introduction because they're probably sidebarring her with tons of questions. She makes the connect as like a pre just in case. So I want you to start doing that too. So then I can help you answer those questions as well. And then any questions that are constant, like that one, I can definitely do a video and then you can just tag them in. But I'm happy to do messages as well. So don't fear them.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Who else? Julie, your head's sideways. Do you got something?
Hey, Mandy.
Yeah.
Can I just say, go ahead.
We'll get to you in a sec. Sorry, go ahead. Michelle, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that I have a great niece who is epileptic, and she is on a ketogenic diet.
Perfect.
So I did talk to my niece about the ketones, and she had heard of them, but wasn't familiar with them at all, and said that her daughter's BHB level, I think that's what it was at a 6, so she was doing really good. So I didn't push it. She's an RN, and sometimes when people are in the medical field, I always here's something that I need to work on. Sometimes I feel like they know way more than I do.
Okay. But
You know what I mean?
Like all of this problem could be solved with a 3-way connect.
Right. Okay.
So,
Perfect.
And it doesn't have to be like, if you lead from here, if you stop leading from here and you start leading from here, like, who cares? Okay, well, if they tell you to F off, like, okay, well, she's your aunt, so it's not a big deal. Like, divorce divorce what you think is going to happen. And this is literally what Michael Rutherford told me, and there's a video of him doing this. But like everything that I like learned is because from him, because like he keeps it so simple and matter of fact. It's like, who cares? Like he was on stage and he's like, I don't care if they tell me to kill myself. Like, I don't care. I have ketones. They don't. Like, you did your job. So the questions and the questions and the questions is fine, but like make sure you have a third person to back them up. If they tell you to, like me and Rochelle were in some sort of chat with this dude who told Dr. Jeremy like he wasn't a real doctor. Like, who cares? Like, we kicked
Right.
we don't talk to him anymore. Like,
Right.
you did your job as the front line to introduce the ketone conversation, validate that, and if they can take it or leave it, you know?
Okay.
And that's what propelled, I'm getting fired up, but like that's what propelled, I'm fired up because that all of this stuff that we're talking about, like it was me. And this is also like, you guys should be coming to events, like anytime that you can plug into a huddle call or like a regional event, or come to Keto Academy more. I encourage everyone to come to Epic. Like all of this stuff, connecting with that community will raise your beliefs so much more. I was like, I don't want to do network marketing. I don't even want to go to this event. It's going to be a rah-rah thing, like blah, blah, blah. Like I went to the event and I was like, F that, Brian Rhodes, tell me how to get to rank 6. And me and Jamie, like, ran, like, because we didn't care anymore, because we believed in the science, we believed in the company, we believed in the industry. And like, now I don't care. Yeah, I do MLM. I don't care. Yep. I told everyone I wasn't going to. Like, I just do not care. And yeah, when I'm out in public, it's kind of awkward, and I do have those limiting things. But like, and I can't tell you how many times I've given free packs out and not heard a damn thing, but I did my job. And you never know who that person is that could either change their life with that pack or introduce you to someone like Mandy Mitchell or Michael Rutherford who will sign up under you, and boop, you
Right.
just never know. So you have two choices: either have the conversation or not. Like, which one's going to move your business forward?
Right.
And all of the yucky stuff, like the limiting beliefs and stuff. This is why we have calls and Zooms and like we all plug in, because you're not supposed to do it by yourself. So, end rant. I'm done. But I hope that's helpful.
Thank you.
I'm super passionate about it because I was you, I was everybody, like, and I still am sometimes, but okay. But plugging in and refilling up your cup with belief is going to help you. So connect me with them. Let's have a conversation. I have some magazines. I have pictures of kids drinking ketones. I have like, we'll get it done.
Thank you.
All right. Julie, go ahead. Sorry. That was awesome. I had to do it. Unmute yourself. Can't hear you.
There you are. Sorry. Thought I already did, but I must have muted it again. I didn't want to get interrupt her. So mine was, I don't have enough time. Like I was running burning both ends of the candle. My job was terrible, whatever. So I don't always get to jump on when Rochelle's doing the power hour, but I have 30 sheets printed out. I date them and I'm doing them.
Perfect.
So I just I'm not doing them all in that power hour, but I broke them up into time segments during the day so that I can get it done. And I had to get over this, and I have to get over it because I'm starting a new job. While it's only going to be my 40 hours a week and it's not going to be like soul sucking.
You mean you don't have to go to India and almost die?
Correct. With Taka and all that good stuff. So I had to do that over these last 2 weeks. I had to get over that part. And I even reached out to Rochelle because I was like, okay, we got done with this power hour. Now I got this lady saying this, and I feel like I'm going to word vomit. So she says, send me a picture of the screenshot, right? Because that's when we were doing, like, I think it was, I don't remember which one of them, but I'm like, I'm going to word vomit. She goes, if you feel spammy, you're going to be spammy. So I sent it to her because I was feeling, and it wasn't because of anything else. I think it was just the mood level that I was at. And I know that I've done this cycle before where I'm like afraid to reach out and ask for help. But the minute I reached out to her, she read it. She voice messaged me back. I, messaged them. I got a 10-day. So I'm getting outside of that again. And I think it's a cycle, and I'm not sure if it's the moon, if it's the tide, whatever the hell it is, but I end up back in it and I just have to pull myself out of it.
Well, let's not tell that story anymore.
I know, but
how's that story working for you right now?
It's not working, but it was an eye opener getting that DMO from her, because I have my own DMO that I've been doing, but this was just like, I took it and I chunked it. So anybody, I think now when somebody tells me, oh, I don't have time, I really can be like, you do though. Cause like, I know you're sitting there binge watching the next Orange is the New Black, and you could be doing this or whatever. And hopefully that'll get through. So I don't know. I become like this.
Well, I want you to be able to connect with me too. Like, I know that you're working and I know that you're crushing it, but like, I think maybe what a shift would be is connecting me like how Rochelle does. Cause like, I know you're a vet and like, you probably think you like, you know, this connect is fundamental, but like do what Rochelle does. And she just connects. Like sometimes like, I'll just say, hey, what's up? Any questions? Like, and she'll casually follow up with them on occasion, like in her follow-up list, but like make that connect. Maybe not to answer a specific question, but just like, hey, I'm adding you to the group, but I wanted to introduce you to Mandy as well. Like she knows way more than I do. So feel free to ask questions here or whatever. Like it doesn't have to be anything, whatever. It's just a casual introduction when you're introducing someone to the group or to ketones. I think that will severely help. Like that's going to up level like your conversions for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I have, I think there's one, then I'll get with you right after this. I'm going to connect you with via chat about business building, and he's not really getting it in the group.
Wait, what?
In that promoter, you know, like the potential promoter group, he like, I guess asked a question, he never got a response. So then he messaged me, so I'll just connect him with you.
Cool. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And I'm excited to see. And then like that, and guys, I don't want anyone to think that that post was like directed towards anyone and whoever's listening on the replay.
No.
It's just something that like kept, like I talked to 5 people today in messages because I'm trying to sell my challenge and my 21 day. And like people just kept like giving me like excuse after excuse. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then Rochelle sent me a message about the same thing too. And I'm like, oh my God, everyone has a story. And like, yes, we're all busy. And like, of course, like I want to hire someone to do my Instagram, but like, I'm not going to because I'm just telling myself a story that I'm like I can post my own Instagram. Like I don't need to spend money. Like I'm just not making it a priority. So it's just like, that was the theme of today. So I hope no one takes any offense to that. But like, it is true. Like you said, hey, well, I'm so busy. Well, if you actually break it down, instead of going like this on your Facebook, like, let's make this strategic. Don't chase the red notes. Like, start making comments and engaging. And then you're going to see some business building. And same thing with Tiffany. She works crazy hours, like, you know, like in all hours of the night, but like making things a priority. And like, if you guys need help and accountability, again, I am sorry that my limiting belief is that I'm not a good enough leader for you guys. And it's really eye-opening for me with Rochelle because she does very good specific directive. For me, I just felt like I'm leading by example, but I'm not showing you that example. So like, if you need accountability, feel free to PM me or text me and be like, just how I did with Tiffany. It's like, okay, well, Tiffany said she needed to make a plan. Well, no, you don't need to make a plan. How about you do it right now and text me every single thing? I didn't respond to her every time she sent me a thing, but like, at least she had that open line of communication. Like, hey, I actually have to be accountable to Mandy because she asked me to do it. Same thing with Jamie. Like, she said, I want to be held accountable because I want to do lives. Well, she didn't do her live, and guess what? I was annoying and I messaged her. So like, if you want to be held accountable, step up and say, I want to be held accountable. Like, I don't go to the gym, but then once my stupid trainer texted me, it was like, you haven't been here all week. I need to be held accountable. We all do. It's just human nature and it's okay, but let's do it. So if you're all giving me permission to hold you accountable for doing certain things, then let's all hold each other accountable. Show up to power hours. If you can't show up to actual power hours, like, screenshot in the group chat, hey guys, I just did my power hour. Like, it's done. If that's cool.
Yep.
Cool. Anybody else have anything? Hi, Ashlyn. Good to see ya. My finger is fat. It's like so swollen.
Hey, babe. What's going on?
What's up? Glad to connect face to face, girl.
I know. You
got
need
any limiting beliefs? Are you overwhelmed? Are you overwhelmed? Are you good? Or like, what can we do?
I am super overwhelmed. Like, it's been a week, like a bad week.
Girl, just let it out. It's okay. This is your like.
No, I almost just cried
Yes.
saying that my limiting belief is like I'm not a good
Hold on.
leader.
I have to make sure the door's shut because my husband's downstairs.
We always cry on Zooms, me and Rochelle, so it's fine.
Oh my gosh, the
Last
biggest
time
crier.
I cried, it's not a big deal. I cry every day, so it's fine.
I've been working on that, but
We're here for you.
so like the last several years have been super sucky, I guess you could say. And I've had an emergency C-section. My kids spent a few weeks in the NICU, and I've always been like alone. My husband just left, went home, and my mom had to go home because my mom was sick. And so I was like alone. And then my husband worked from home, so I felt like I didn't have a home. I wasn't allowed to like really do anything without him getting upset. But then he was always upset because nothing was done. So we're working on that, and things are better in our relationship, but it's been really hard. And so I finally, on my birthday, on the 15th, I literally couldn't walk. Well, you guys saw some of my Facebook stuff. And I've had knee surgeries when I was a teen, before I was out of high school. And so I kind of like panicked him, and we did stuff, and he actually did the reboot with me, which was awesome. But in a couple of days, I was walking again and all kinds of stuff. So that was great. So by the end of that week, I was like, you know what? Is it worth it to you if I shared it with other people? And he was on board. Like, he was excited about it. I got him to take some to work. But now it's like for the last week, anytime I'm ever talking to somebody or somebody inquires about, hey, what are you doing? Or I saw your post, hey, what's going on? He is yelling at me. And it's always about like stupid crap. And it's frustrating to me because it's like, okay, you wanted me to do something, but because I'm not 1,000% doing everything for you like I've always done, now you're angry with me. And I don't really know why you're angry with me. Like, suddenly, Friday afternoon, he was sick. So I told him, like, go on to bed. I've got our son who is crying in the next room. And because he totally changed his bedtime routine, which breaks my mommy heart, but that's a whole different situation. And so he's sick, he goes to bed. And of course, I'm a germaphobe because I have a preemie. I'm still a germaphobe, my kids too. But still, he's got premature lungs. And so he's like seriously high risk for RSV and all kinds of stuff. And we were told that we will never know the severity of the damage that was done to his lungs. So I'm very like, oh, it's flu season, we're not going anywhere, which kind of helps in some situations because I have time for like Facebook and stuff. But he is sick, and he wakes up the next morning and he's like, so my friends are coming. And I'm like, okay, I've had a teething toddler all week long. There's just crap everywhere. He's been sick. There's crap everywhere. And I'm like, I have really bad social anxiety after the last 2 years. And I'm like, so what are we going to do? And so I've literally cleaned the house from top to bottom for people coming. And I'm really hard on myself. And I was trying to answer a question, and he's just yelling at me. And I'm like, how am I supposed to fit in me? Because I've literally not even been a person since my son was born. Like, I don't do anything for me. Like, if I want to do something for me, it has to be like midnight or later. And everybody has to be asleep and nobody's crying. And I just feel very forgotten. And when I asked him, like, I don't understand. You wanted me to do it. Why are you yelling at me? He's like, I don't know. They're all different situations. I don't know why I'm yelling at you. So I just kind of feel floating out with, oh, okay, so it doesn't matter what I'm doing, you're just gonna yell at me. That's cool. So I'm working on it, but I just feel like he doesn't really want me to do it. He just doesn't want to tell me to my face that he doesn't want me to do it.
Do you have time to do it like when he's not around, or can you just use text so he can't hear you? I'm not sure.
Sometimes this week has been hard, and I guess I feel even more pressure, but it's my own, like it's my own doing, and I know that, and I have to kind of like take a step back and be like, if you don't get everything you need in 14 days, is it really a big deal?
No, but like,
is it really gonna make or break you? Is it something that I would be excited to achieve? Yes, but if I don't, it doesn't make me any less, and that's something that I have to do because I'm an overachiever. I always have been. It happens, and so I feel like I've put more pressure on myself to do that. It's okay, honey. You're okay.
Well, first and foremost, like, we're all here for you. We want you to be successful. Definitely work with me and Rochelle on connecting your people so that you don't have to talk much. You just do the introductions, and like me and Rochelle will handle the rest. We want you to succeed, and you just do what you need to do at home. But like, this is supposed to be fun. This isn't something like, we want to empower you, and like we're here for you, like to support you no matter what. If you need to come and like live with me, you can. Like, I don't, like, I don't know where you would sleep, but like that's how much we like we're a community. Like, yeah, of course ketones are great, but like you just shared super vulnerable stuff with like basically complete strangers. But like, I'm sure I kind of speak for everyone that we're all here for you, and this isn't supposed to be a stressor. And like Rochelle can give you super specific little action steps that you can do in 5 and 10 minute increments that will move your business forward, that won't really cause issues. And like, of course, I'm here for you too.
So I want to comment on this because I can relate to this 100%. Like, when I got started, Andrew wasn't supportive. And I didn't ask him like you did, but he was working, and when he would come home, I was busy with Zooms or talking to people, and like I didn't give him really the time of day. But I had felt the same way that you did. Like, I had not taken time for myself since I got pregnant. It was super hard to like be confident in that I'm going to finally do something for myself. Like, I'm going to continue drinking this stuff, and I'm going to share it because it makes me feel good and because I want to share this with other people. I highly encourage you to stand firm in your belief, and to like push back. And I know that it's hard and it doesn't feel good, but 100%, like, we teach people how to treat us. So if you don't give him that push and say, look, you need to stop. And I know it's not going to feel good and it's not going to be easy. Then this kind of a thing will continue. And I don't want that for you. And I know you don't want that for you, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, like, I can go into all of the specifics that Andrew and I have gone through since I started this. And I mean, Mandy can vouch for me, and I will on a one-on-one basis. But the last 7 months have not been easy for me. And by plugging in it and like putting myself into this community and leaning on everybody here is what got me through it. The only thing that got me through it. And then going to those like events, even when my life was falling apart, because there's only one day that's spent on product knowledge and the rest are spent on personal development. So working through things that I thought about myself that were not true, like I'm not worthy and I'm not good enough and that I can't do this and that I don't have the support that I need. Well, I don't need anybody's support except for the support of this community to do this because I have everything inside of me. Like, I want you to feel that and believe it too. You have everything inside of you that you need to be successful in this. And even if you don't feel that at this very moment, believe it. So I want you to say that. I have everything inside of me that I need to be successful.
And I know that I do.
No, say it.
It's,
Say it.
I know that I have everything inside of me that I can, and I can do this. And I used to be extremely social and just, I was a people person, and I love people, but genuinely love people, not, I know people that are like fake love people, and I don't mean that towards anybody ugly. I've been there. I've been through a lot in my life, a lot of really horrible things in my life. And I know that my husband doesn't understand that. And I love my husband to death. I've known him since I was in college, which I've known him for almost 15 years now. And we've only been together 5. And he's got all these dreams and everything too. And that's what I told him. I'm like, I support you in everything that you do, but why can't you do that for me? Why is it easy for you to just dismiss me? Like, I can only be certain things. Because I was amazing things in the times that we weren't together. And he's not a horrible guy. He's actually one of the best people I know. And it's just like, you go through things, and I hate talking about him in a negative way because I don't feel that way towards him. But sometimes it's just like, you would like to have one person that you can talk to about something and feel like they've always got your back.
Well, that's what we're
And
here
I don't.
for. But we're here for you. I mean, Rochelle's not had the easiest situation at home, and she's made it work. And like, again, little micro action steps. But like, first believing in yourself. Like, same thing I told Barba. Like, when you wake up in the morning, write down things you're grateful for and like who you want to be, and like really reaffirm the fact that like I have everything I need inside of me to be successful, and like we'll support you when like no one else is. And over time he could be on board, but like for now you have us.
Yeah, you don't need him. And Mandy and Gwen were my people that were the only support, like that supported me through everything that I needed, because I didn't have that. Not from my parents, not from my husband. I didn't have that except for from them.
And Rochelle had every reason to like not come to more, like,
oh my gosh.
Like,
yeah.
Besides the fact that she booked the ticket at the wrong spot, but like she made it, she came, like she just had a lot of personal stuff that like I'm sure whatever she feels comfortable sharing with at some point, but like
so the day
it's messy, like just messy, and like
yeah,
I don't want the Zoom to go very like super long, but like we like we love you and we're supportive of you. Like, if anything, just like use that to empower yourself to be like, listen, I'm doing this and sorry, boy, like it is what it is. But like, we're here for you, and I don't want you to ever feel like we're alone. Like, this is why we Zoom. We Zoom not just to talk about ketone business, but like bust through our limiting beliefs, like just to show support. Like, we're all pretty much strangers, but like we're all here for you. And that is what the power of this conversation is. Like, Michelle, it's so much more than just like sharing that conversation with like your niece or whatever. Like, there's just so much more here than just like being a salesperson. Like, this is what we plug into. This is why we have our entire huge community, because like we want to have this stuff and show this to everyone. So we're here for you.
100%. No, say it. I have everything that I need inside of me.
Rochelle makes me do this crap too sometimes. So
I make my kids do it. I've been making them do it for years. So you have to, and then you have to jump up and shake your butt.
yeah, do it.
Oh, I don't shake my butt. There's way
okay,
too
well
much
then
to
just
shake.
do a little like this, because I don't shake my butt.
Like I do with my kid. He always tells me, "Shake your bobo, mommy." Shake
But the
your bobo."
physiology, like there's actually a physiology, like you say the statement and then you shake it up and then it gets implanted in you when you go
I
to
have
keto.
everything inside of me to do this and do it well and be great at it.
Shake it.
Shake.
Does that feel good?
Yes.
Hell yeah. Okay.
You're supposed to do, what is it, like superhero?
Yeah, power stance.
Yeah, there you go. We had to do that in X-ray all the time.
Perfect.
I'm an X-ray person.
So
And they're like, go off your
awesome.
X-rays.
So I just want to wrap up because I don't like, it's fine, I don't care, but like, because this is all good stuff. So Tiffany, to answer your question, okay, so Epic is like more of a celebration. There's downtime, excursions, breakout sessions with like different people, and then you get really super dressed up, and then you like there's awards and like all of that. So it's like a end of year wrap up, but like it's still really powerful to go to. And then Keto Academy Keto Academy is like all ketone science, and then more is all self-development for 3 days. They bring in like Mel Robbins, Jarek Robbins, David Goggins was there before. Like, it's just super empowering to be there, because you just, regardless of what event you go to, it's part of this community. Like, there's only 9 of us on right now, but like, imagine like the power that we just had these conversations 10x in a room full of 2,000 people that all have similar stories and limiting beliefs and stuff. What you can see, and what's really crazy, is like people will do shares and you'll like hear the same limiting beliefs that one person has, and their story is so similar to like what you're feeling, because we're all connected, because we're all human beings. So I just highly encourage everyone to like please consider coming to an event, and I'll run a contest and we'll figure it out. And if you don't immediately say no just because of money or time or whatever, like let's solve for X to get you there. But we can discuss that a little bit later. I just kind of wanted to quickly talk about the promoter group, because I know I haven't done it. I'm not sure if Rochelle did it last week when I was away, but there's a promoter group that we should be utilizing with the ATM system. Everyone needs to create. Rochelle, do you just want to tell everyone about it? Because you're more like in tune to that than I am. I'm still catching up.
Yeah, for sure. So it's a potential promoter group. So anytime somebody asks you, oh, what does it take to be a promoter? You don't have to answer their questions. You just have to plug them into this group. Or when you're talking to people, you can ask them something like, okay, now do you just want to be a customer, or do you want to make money like I do? Because if you do, then I have a group I can put you into that will allow you to absorb all of the information. Like literally everything is in there. All you have to do is make a welcome video, and I can tag you in mine, but it just basically says, thank you so much for accepting my invitation to this potential promoter group. I'm really excited that you're here. This opportunity has changed my life, not only physically, but financially as well. And I can't wait to share this with you. But before I go, I need you to, or before you go, I need you to go check out the announcements at the top of the page and watch those 2 videos as well, and then hit me back up in Messenger. But that group is just there for them to watch, and the more they watch, they're going to want to be a part of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because we do business tips and like anytime there's a sale and like basically once you get them into the group, they'll get notifications from that group and then you'll be able to see like business building tips and like new information and that kind of thing. So it's kind of the same thing as the keto and lifestyle group, but now shifting gears to being a promoter. So I challenge everyone to create that welcome video. You can tag people in mine too. Mine's in there. You guys can just find it yourselves. But it's nothing fancy. And we can do a deeper dive and you guys can send me messages and we can talk about it. But this is like the way we're going to talk about promoter situations going forward. And it's really going to help give clarity and community to people that are thinking about being a promoter. And it takes the pressure off of you because now you don't have to like talk about pitching like a $1,300 package. It's already done for you in a webinar like that Ray and our upline did. And it's a half an hour and it's super awesome and like made me want to re-sign up. So, and it's not like this awkward, well, you could do it this way, because that's something I struggled with. So there's that. Is everyone cool on that for now, the quick overview? Cool. So when can I hold everyone accountable to get their welcome videos up and in that group? By next week, by next Monday, a week from today, or Sunday, a week from today. It literally 3 minutes. Go ahead, Julie.
So I'll tell you what, I wrote mine down and like I did a scripted and I, recorded it and it was awful. The moment that I got rid of how and what I thought I was going to say and I just like felt and I said it from my heart and how I really feel, that was the most natural, the easiest way to do it. So don't overthink it because I was doing that overthinking. And once I got rid of that script and then I redid it, I was like, oh yeah, that's me. And it was so much better.
Yeah, me too. I overthought mine too, for sure. It took me so long to do it. And I was like, that's silly. And you guys can post it and then change it later. Like just go for done, not perfect. And then I also, so in addition to like your welcome video, something like that, I would also like everyone to please record their product testimony. Like before Prove It, I was, now I am. And what I'm looking forward to is, and I'll post this in our group, in the actual group page, like how to do it. But I want to get these testimonies inside of our keto lifestyle group so that we all can. Yeah, mine too. Mine's acting crazy too, Barbara. But like, so we can all have our own stories. So like Michelle has her story, Ashlyn has her story, Tiffany has her story. Like we can all tag. Yeah, the Inspire On ones are cool, but like let's make one, but those are marketing videos. Like let's make realistic videos of testimonies so they're more relatable. Like, of course, I bawled my eyes out, but like that guy was asking me questions. It was super edited. Like, he triggered me, but like if I want to do a different one that's like, yo, I love ketones because I can eat burritos and not get chubby and whatever. Like you could say whatever you want, but I want you guys to like just, why do you love Prove It? What does it make you feel like? And what are you excited about? Does that make sense?
Yeah, the only thing I would suggest is try to keep it under 2 minutes and stick to what's on the box. So better sleep, better. Like we can't go into the
Hi.
medical fields.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not going to be like, this helps my AS, like, or this helps whatever. Like, just talk about how it makes you feel, the energy, the focus, the fat loss, like those types of things. So if everybody could have all of those done, like both of those done, can we hold each other accountable to have them done a week from today? That's plenty of time to do 2-3 minute videos. Agree?
Yes. And then can I ask something of Rochelle?
Yeah.
Can you do a training on the QR code and how you did it? And the only reason why I ask is because when I'm giving people, and I'm getting their information and I want to give them something so that they can like watch the video if they don't want to hand me over their phone, which that's happened. Yeah. I don't want them to see the experience keto because I think then they all of a sudden think that they need to do keto. But if they have that QR code, they have no idea what they're about to view. They have no preconceived, expectations or thinking that they have to do keto. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I'll do a video on it and post it to the group.
Yeah, Tiffany, I'll add the homework into the group. I think that's good. Does Sunday night Zooms work better than Wednesdays? Clearly.
And Mandy, I have a question, or I have a question of Rochelle, actually. Rochelle, can you say again, I have a curiosity post and I'm getting comments, but I'm getting loads of likes and loves. So what, and you said you had, I was still having trouble with my internet, which it got better. But anyway, what are good responses to those?
So in a message, you reach out to them and say, hey, so-and-so, like say their name so it's personal. Thank you so much for liking or loving my post. I really appreciate your love and support. It's people like you that encourage me to keep sharing this because I love, because I love the way that I feel now, and it's really changed my life, and I'm excited to share this with other people. Okay. What do you mean about ketones or ketosis? Okay. And you can wait for their next response. You don't have to say that at the very end, but build them up and thank them first before you question them.
Okay. But so the final question is always going to be the question. What do you know about ketones and ketosis? Okay.
Right. Well, and don't be afraid to do the cold reach out where you're like, hey, long time no talk. I'd love to catch up sometime. But can I ask you a random question? I know I probably feel like a weirdo. I like to say that because then it takes the power out of them thinking that I'm weird for asking it. Because I'm already putting it out there.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Cool, guys. Is everyone cool? Can we call this a wrap? All right. I like that, Rochelle. That's funny. All right, guys. I love you all so much. Thanks so much for opening up and sharing and setting up. If Sundays at this time works better than Wednesdays, which I think it probably does seem to, let's stick with Sunday nights Zooms at 8 p.m. Because then I can do 9 p.m. because then I can do 9 p.m. and then 8 p.m. teach clients. So cool. I like this. I love y'all. This call is officially a wrap, and looking out for your videos, and I'll post them in the group. But thank you all for sharing and showing up, and I'll talk to you soon.